Hey campers, George here, back in the man cave. Woot! Yep, got me a new prize. This time, I kind of made a dent in my budget. It was a horror. But you know what? It was my birthday the other day and I thought, you know what? I deserve it. So what I did was I went online and had a look at my favorite knife people. Bps Knives out of the Ukraine. Those guys have really impressed me, and I'm the proud owner of a couple of their knives, as you know. And having a look at their website, came across something that they have that is kind of a little different to what they normally offer. The regular, very plain look at it and go, that's a BPS knife. This is a little bit different. It's a hand-forged knife. And it's this guy here. And as you can see, you know, they're out of the Ukraine. And it comes in this box, which is all sealed up and everything like that. So let's have a look-see at what I got myself into here. So let's do a quick unboxing here. I really don't want to cut these seals. But hey, got to do what you got to do, right? So let's give that a slice. Ooh. Huh. All right. We're full of little things here. Well, let's check it out. And in the box, we have this guy, which is the sheath, wrapped in there, like they always do. They wrap their stuff in this, I want to say, saran wrap. And we have us, oh, wow. A very nice sheath. Look at that. Has the BPS logo on it there. And then the stitching is different. Look at that. I don't know what it's made of, but it looks pretty cool. It almost looks metal, but it's not. It's not sure what it is, but that's pretty cool. And of course, they have the regular belt loop, and then you have a dangler, which is pretty common with them, and that's pretty standard, but this is a nice touch. What is this? Huh. It's a steel bead. See that? Looks like it's been hand forged. I don't know if you can see that. Let me, so we can get focus on it. You see that? Very cool. And here is, oh, a lanyard. I think it's a lanyard. Just some leather. A leather strip, obviously. The bead goes on there, right? Huh. So that tells me that they probably have a lanyard hole in it. Here is the knife. See that? Very cool. Look at that. It's like a burlap sack that it's in. And very cool. Look at that. A seal. See that? It's sealed. That's pretty cool. And on the seal it says, let's see what it says here. Hand forged in the Ukraine, BPS knives. And then it's got an anvil and a hammer on it. I don't know if you can see that. See that there? Well, we've got to take this apart. Now, I don't want to break that seal. Let's see if we can get it off without breaking the seal. Oh, that came off. Very cool. See, yeah, we got the seal in one piece here. And we're back to saran wrap. Not a big fan of them using saran wrap, but I was reading on their website, and, well, not on their website, it was actually a post on Instagram, and I'll put a link to their Instagram account in the description below. You can stop by and have a look at their account. They're getting away from using saran wrap. They're trying to be more, what's the word? Ecologically sound. You can see here the knife has a little thing, and here is, wow, here it is here, and as you can see, the blade obviously is hand forged, and I'm looking here, and it's not a full tang. That's interesting. It's obviously got a tail on it, so it's not full tang. I'm not sure what it is. I'll check for you. But look at that. You can see how they hand forged the steel and then sharpened it. Look at that. And that handle is very nice. I like this. This looks very nice. And yep, there it is, the lanyard hole. So that will go in the lanyard hole with a nice little hand-forged bead on it. Very nice. And there's something on the spine here. Oh! It says Bps Knives D2 steel. See that there? Let's see if we can get that. Try and catch it in the light there. Still on there. It's kind of hard to see. It's got some weight to it. This is not a light knife. Look at that thing. And that handle. Wow. It even fits my hand. The shock. Now, I'm not shocked. I like their handles, and I think that's one of the reasons I like their knives, is their handle seems to fit my short, stubby, grubby really well. And this feels very nice. See that handle? It has that wood. And we'll go through this in more detail. Let's have a good look at this. Their description of this is a hand-forged fixed blade knife with leather sheath. And you can see that. Very nice. Very nice. Wow. I'm really impressed with this. Yeah, it's sharp. All their knives are sharp. So there you have it there. And what do they call this guy? Well, brace yourself. This is what they call it. And I'm going to try and pronounce it right now. It is, I believe, it is pronounced HEPHAESTUS. So this is the BPS hand-forged fixed blade knife, the HEPHAESTUS. Don't hold me on that, but I believe that's how it's pronounced. And HEPHAESTUS, believe it or not, is a Greek god. And here's the history of him. And here we go. This is who HEPHAESTUS is. He is the god of fire and of craftsmen, son of Zeus, and Hera, and husband of Aphrodite. He was a divine metal worker who was lame as the result of having interfered in a quarrel between his parents. The Roman equivalent to him is the Vulcan. So there you have it. You know, I think that's an appropriate name for this guy. There's some history right there. It is a hand-forged fixed blade knife with a leather sheath and a lanyard and bead. That's what they say in their description. The blade, the steel they used, is D2 tool steel. Now a little bit more on D2, and that is an air-hardened, high-carbon steel with high chromium tool steel. So it's not your average blade steel. I own another knife that has D2 steel, and that is my Knives of Alaska Bush Camp, which has D2 steel, and that thing is awesome. And this, I think, is just as good, if not better. It is nice to have this pattern and everything on it. I've never owned a blade like this, where it's been hand forged like this, and has that hand forged look to it. You can see it there. Very nice. It is a Scandi grind, and if you look down the blade, focus there, hopefully. You can. It's kind of hard to see, but it is a Scandi grind, and you can see there it is just that, what I like to call a flat Scandi. In other words, it's just a one grind, flat grind Scandi, which I like, and I think I really like the Scandi grind. I think it works well for bushcraft. So good deal there. It has an HRC rating of 55 to 62, and anything around the 60s is a good solid rating in HRC. Like I said, it's D2 steel is very hard, and it makes it difficult to sharpen, but it holds that edge really well. So good start there. I'm liking this. I'm really liking this. The overall dimensions of the knife, 9.85 inches tip to butt, and the blade 5.3 inches. Not bad. A little bit long for bushcraft, and I don't think this is really a bushcraft knife. I would say camp hunting knife, but certainly not too big to be able to do some more delicate tasks for bushcraft. But we'll see. I don't know if I want to even use this on anything. It's a thing of beauty, and it makes me nervous to do anything with it. But then I have to remind myself, this is D2 steel. It should be able to handle just about anything I would want to do to one of my knives. The blade thickness, 0.23 inches, you can see, nice and thick. However, it is not full tang. And so it's going to have a rat's tail. And looking here, I'm going to say that tail looks like it, just by the way it's sitting up here, that tail looks pretty thick. I would say it's at least half of the thickness of the actual blade, of the depth of the blade. How deep it goes in, I'm not sure. I'm not about to take this apart, and I don't think you can. The way they've got the handle, this is slid on. It's really nice. This is way better than I thought it would be. The overall weight of the knife is 7.76 ounces. So it's not really heavy, but it's not a light knife. And they actually say that it is a camp knife. Look, let's have a look at the handle now, and you can see the handle here. It just has one finger dip in it there, and you can see the belly of the handle is there. And when you grab it, your front finger is right there. It doesn't have really a guard here for it. It is flat from the blade, and the spine of the knife here is not very sharp. Now, I'm not sure if that'll strike a ferro rod, but we'll have a look-see. It feels sharp in some places, but not in others, and I suspect they didn't really want it to have that. But we'll see what we can do, and I'm pretty sure if you give it a little touch-up, not that I want to do that, see if it'll strike a ferro rod. I don't care if it doesn't. It just looks so cool. Anyway, let's have a look at the handle. Back to the handle here. And you can see you have your lanyard hole here. And they give you the lanyard here. and it's just a leather lanyard with some D2 steel bead on it, hand forged, which I thought was a nice touch. Looking at the handle here, this part here, this steel front to the handle, I'm not sure if you can refer that as a bolster, but I'm going to say it is. I'm going to say it's just a bolster. I'm not sure how the handle is fixed onto the tail of the tang. Don't care. As long as it stays on, I'm happy with it. One of the first knives, and I never thought about it at all when I looked at it online. I didn't realize it came with all this extra stuff, that it wasn't full tang. Normally that scares me off. I like to have a full tang knife. I've never really, besides a couple of smaller knives, belt knives that don't have a full tang. But if I'm going for a knife this size, I prefer a full tang. But I'm not worried about this. I just love the look of this knife. Now, the handle is made of dark aged oak, which is very nice. And they used a Danish oil on it, they said, to preserve it. If you look at the back, you can actually see the wood grain, and it's nice and straight, like that, almost like you would want on your axe handle. And you can see, it's kind of hard, but you can see the grain of the wood. But that dark oak is really nice. It's very good looking. This is just overall a good looking knife. I'm enjoying this. It's a good present for me. Good decision. I don't feel so bad about how much I paid for it. Wondering how much I paid for it? That much. Yep. Big dent in my budget. But hey, I'm thinking I don't really care right now. This is beautiful. What they say about the sheath here, and I was wondering about this stuff here. In the description, they say this is a strong nylon thread, 3 mil. So, it looks fine. I mean, it holds everything together. They do say they glue everything together and do what they would normally do. The only difference between this and their regular sheaths is that they don't use the leather here. They're using that nylon thread, which is a nice touch, and I think it's a good idea. Let's see how well the knife goes in there. Ooh. Oh. Well, that goes in there nice, and there you can see there. And look how that leather and the handle match up. Really nice. And you have your dangler. I'm becoming a real big fan of danglers. I like the idea of a dangler. I think they really make a difference when you carry it on your belt and you're kneeling down, sitting, squatting, whatever you're doing. It keeps the knife in a vertical position, which I like. Using a knife, I doubt if you'll lose this knife. It's in there really tight, and it is a nice fit. It'll eventually, shape to the knife the more you leave it in there and you take care of it. Don't forget to take care of your things. They do say, with like all BPS knives, it does come with an oil covering on it. They recommend you wipe that off. I like to leave it on for as long as possible. Any carbon type steel on your blades will rust, so you want to keep them oiled. You don't want to, when you finish using them, you want to clean them up, clean it off, put some oil. I use gun oil on mine. I just put a very light coat on just to stop that rust from forming on it. And then obviously, maybe once a year, just oil up your handle to take care of it. This is a nice knife. Can't stop smiling about this thing. Lanyard on. Just like that, so you can see it there. And I just did a little single overhand knot on it with the bead on it. This is kind of heavy, and I'm not sure if I will keep this on here, but I'm certainly going to keep this, and I'm thinking I might just add this to this and make a little display out of it or something. I don't know, but I think I want to keep that seal. So there it is. Bps Hephaestus, I believe is what it's called. And if you have a dad like Zeus, you got some power. So hopefully, so does this. Gonna have to go outside and play with it in the South 40 workbench. Little snow falling, no big deal. I think we might just take a trudge out there and give it a try on some frozen wood. Ooh. We've had a little bit of snow, and I'm back in the South 40 here on my little workbench here, and I just cut me a piece of wood because I'm going to see if I can batten this and maybe do some feathering. I'm just not sure about striking a ferro rod with the knife because of that edge on the spine. Like I said, it doesn't really have a good sharp 90 on it, but we'll see. We'll give it a try. If not, I have a backup, my Anantini pocket knife, and that I know will strike a ferro rod, so we'll see if we can light some wood. Gotta light something. It's cold, it's snowing, we need fire. Okay, I'm not going to make fire, but I'm going to see if I can start the tinder that I make using this guy. So first of all, what I want to do is I'm going to batten a bit with it, play with it a bit, what I would normally use this knife for. It does feel good in my hand. I like the weight. It's not really heavy and it's not too light. So that's a good thing. The balance, the blade's a little heavy, but that's not surprising. It's not a bushcraft knife. The blade is longer and all the weight is in the blade, so it's going to go a little bit forward. Is it a big deal? No, I don't think so. Sharpening one end here. You get the idea, and I'm not making it very round, but you can see the I can make a point out of it. I mean, making a notch in it. Let's see, I got something to bludgeon with. Gonna make a quick stop cut here. Yeah, this is frozen, and yeah, it has no problem doing a notch. That's not surprising. Most knives you can, any decent bushcraft or camp knife, you should be able to notch with. I'm just doing a basic 7 notch here just to try it out. Let's see if we can make some tinder. Yeah, it gets through this no problem. Got through that notch. Cut this. We're getting a little short here. A piece of wood that I can feather. So to give a a good look at it. But and like I said, I always try to slice down. Don't go directly down. You'll get a better curl if you slice. You can see how the wood will curl. And of course the wood broke, but you can see the curl there. I'm hoping you can see this because I can't see the screen on my camera. Let's see. Oh, it's sharp, and it slices right through this wood. No problem. You can see it feathers just fine. Now, the real test. The one thing I'm not sure it can do, and that is strike a ferro rod. Fire starter that I just dropped. Well, that's going to increase the challenge right there. Let's see what happens. Barely strikes it. And these Eric's lights are really good, easy to strike. Nope. No, that's a shame. I'm barely getting a spark out of it. I got a spark out of it, and I think, you know, my fire starter is wet, and it has a sharp edge just right there. I was looking at BPS's website the other day, and I noticed they have a new knife on there. They have a folder. I'm going to have another look at that, and I might just give it a try. I didn't know they had folders, and I think that's the only one they have. But I'm going to have a look at it. I really like their stuff, so I'm going to check out that folder as well. Surprisingly, it's a little pricey. When I say pricey, compared to these guys, the Anatinis and the Opinals and that sort of thing, it's a little bit priced, a little bit higher, but it's probably a little bit more high-end and more designed for an EDC rather than a food prep style EDC knife. Yeah, the problem is my fire starter is wet. Let's grease it up some more. Just can't get it to light. Huh, what do you do? Well, a little bit more about the knife though. The style of the blade. I looked that up because I wanted to see what it's called. And it's just called a flat back style. And that makes me think more of a camping hunting knife rather than bushcraft. Obviously it doesn't have that drop point on it, or the spear point, which is a little bit different, but I'm going to see if I can do some carving with it. So let's check it out. I'm going to carry on where I left off on my last knife, and that is right here. So we're going to work on this. Like I said, what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying out different things whittling. And what I want to do is get this rounded off both sides and then go underneath and have this as like a bangle on here that'll be free floating on the stick. To do that, I've got to get this down as far as I can around that, so that I can eventually dig underneath there. That's the plan anyway. But as you can see, this thing is just slicing into this. Oh yeah. I see no problem. I don't see a problem this being a camp knife or a hunting knife. The blade's a little, you know, it's not really designed for bushcraft, I think, but you could probably do a lot with it. Bushcrafty stuff with it. You round it there. So that got in there pretty quickly. It has a good feel in my hand. I like that. I want to do the same thing on this side and get in there. It feels good. I feel I got some good control on the knife, which is what, when you whittle, is kind of important. Otherwise, a knife gets away from you and you're gonna mess up whatever you're trying to do. So having control is a good thing. So as you can see, I'm rounding that off. The idea is to get deep enough into here so I can get underneath and release this whole thing to be loose on here, like a collar. So there you have it. A look at my new toy. I have to say, I really am impressed with this knife. You know, the whole ferro rod thing, I don't think it's a problem in that you can clean up this edge here and get a nice 90 on it. And looking at the knife, there is a slight drop off at the bottom here, almost like it's almost trying to be a saber cut, but I'm going to stick with the flat edge on it, flat back. Very nice. Feels nice in my hand. I'm liking this. So there you are, the Hephaestus. Gotta love it. It is a pretty looking knife. And like I said, it fits my hand really well. It feels very comfortable. I'm really impressed with this, and I don't feel so bad about spending that money anymore. What can I say? Like, share, subscribe. You know the story. Pretty sure I'll be back. I think it's time to go fishing. The temperatures are a little bit better. Maybe go catch me a fish or two. Maybe another sharp and shiny. Or maybe I'll be wandering around somewhere and find something that I might think is handy and share it with you. Maybe some more information on knives. I want to know more about grinds and blade shapes and why. Who knows? Just saying. Thanks for watching, and you all be safe out there.